Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the DBE ACDBE Rules Review. Today, we'll be focusing on the impact on the city's minority and women-owned and women business enterprise program. My name is Rika Edwards. I'm a civil rights specialist here in the Civil Rights and Equal Opportunity Department. A little background about me. I was a researcher for a consulting firm that specializes in disparity and availability studies. The major part of my job essentially was to investigate the barriers and challenges faced by minority and women-owned businesses and provide a comprehensive, in-depth understanding of the lived experiences of the affected populations, where I'd basically write reports offering a deeper understanding of the structural and contextual factors that lead to disparities. I have interviewed and analyzed data for over for hundreds of MBE, WBE firms, and I write reports accordingly. So today we have Mark Ronge. He is Chief Officer of Economic Equity and Compliance Services. We have Alvaro Antiveros. He is the Manager of Economic Equity and Inclusion Division. And we have with us today as well Andy Atkins, who is the Senior Civil Rights Specialist, and Rio Cervantes Reed, who is the Chief Civil Rights and Operation Officer. We also have Director Jaime Gillen, and he will be introducing himself. Director?
Thank you, Rika. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jaime Guillen, and I'm the Director of the Civil Rights and Equal Opportunity Department. I want to thank everyone for joining us today as we cover this really important information, the recently updated DBE rule, and we're going to take a dive into looking at how it affects our MBE, WBE programs. Before we dive into the presentation, I do want to extend an invitation to everyone on here to join us again for future webinars. We plan to do this on a monthly basis, and we want to cover different topics relating to the work that CREO does. Also, we'd like to invite some of you guys to maybe attend some of these and give us your points of view. So you can join us. You can sign up for more information on our website. But with that, I will turn it back over to Rika. That way we can get into the presentation. Thanks again and welcome.
Okay, thank you so much, Director. So about the Economic Equity and Inclusion Division, the Economic Equity and Inclusion Division is responsible for the business enterprise programs of the City of Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, pursuant of Chapter 3, Article 4 of the City Ordinance. EEI certifies eligible vendors and or contractors in the marketplace whose owners have been historically disadvantaged through systematic policies that prevent or exclude them economically or socially by race and or sex or a combination of these. EEI assists certified firms that are willing and able to participate on contracts in accordance with the established city procurement policies. This process is meant to ensure equity on all contracts within the city limits of Kansas City, Missouri. EEI also responsible for setting goals or evaluating certain contracts to ensure that the opportunities include access, equity, inclusion for certified businesses. Since its inception, the DBE program has served as a regulatory framework for federal, state, and local projects that utilize federal funding from the U.S. DOT. Provided a blueprint for the design and implementation of state, local diversity supplier programs to ensure fairness in public contracting. Other important factors are many of the updates and adjustments seen in the DBE program are then followed by state and local programs, including the City of Kansas City. And just so you guys know, we here at Kansas City, we follow the federal DBE program, which has withstood public scrutiny, and ours as well. Diversity supplier programs must follow DBE guidelines on federally assisted projects, even if just $1 of federal funding is used on the project. The DBE program has successfully navigated many legal challenges over the years. How were the new rules made? So advance notice of proposed rulemaking, and then proposed rule published to Federal Register on July 21st, 2022. Public comments occurred on August 2022, and on September 19, 2022, comment period ended. The final rule released added to Code of Federal Regulations, and then it went through judicial review, and the rule becomes enforceable on May 9th, 2024. Key changes to the DBE rules are interstate certification, personal network, and payment monitoring. Mark, would you like to take this one?
Hello, this is Mark Runge from CREO. I'm the Chief Officer of Economic Equity and Compliance Services. For interstate certification, they made some changes. The additional Uniform Certification Program, UCP, must adopt a certification from the DBE's jurisdiction of original certification. The JOC will typically be the principal place of business or home state. The firm provides cover letter, proof of certification from the JOC, and new declaration of eligibility. All UCPs to use DBE's anniversary date from original certification by its home state. Upon receipt of the three documents, an additional UCP must confirm certification within 10 business days. The additional CUP can request the JOC full file, and the JOC must provide within 30 days. For partial or full decertification, must notify the other affected UCPs by email. It's a collaborative process involving all affected UCPs. Now, the UCPs that they're talking about are the Uniform Certification Programs for each state. And we are a member of the Missouri Regional Certification Committee, which is our UCP for Missouri. Basically, the firm from out of state just has to send us a letter requesting certification and verify that they are certified by their home state and are still eligible. So it's almost automatic now. If you have a lot of questions, if we have a lot of questions about one, we can request a copy of their full file. But normally we will just certify them based on the fact that they're still certified by their home state UCP. So that's pretty much it for the interstate certification update.
This is Rio. I just wanted to insert here also that this means that once our Missouri DBEs are certified, whether it's by us or one of our partners here in Missouri, they can then also go to one of the other states and become certified with them as well. So it's not just other states coming here or businesses in other states coming here and becoming certified with us, but it allows us to expand your own DBE certification business and going to other states as well.
Yes, that is correct. The same rules apply to anybody else as do to ours. Correct.
Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Alvaro Ontiveros. Like Rika said, I am the division manager for economic equity and inclusion here with CREO at the City of Kansas City. And I'm going to talk to you about the changes to personal net worth with this new rule that came into effect on May 9th. So the big one is that the cap adjustment was made to now limit the personal net worth to $2.047 million. And so the way that that was calculated was through a multiplication of the growth in total household net worth and the growth in population based on this latest census data. That comes through the Survey of Consumer Finances. Another change that was made was that retirement assets are now excluded from the calculation. And this was done in order to make it consistent with the current SBA 8A calculations. So you must still report your retirement assets and accounts. They just will not be included in the calculations. Similarly, your equity in your primary residence and the business for which you're applying for certification will be excluded from the personal net worth calculation. However, they must also be reported. There's a definite insistence moving forward that everything on the personal net worth calculation be reported accurately. If it asks for a number amount, please report a number amount. If it doesn't apply, please just write 0. Another one of the changes in the rule is a lot of leverage has been given to certifiers to make decisions based on any fraudulent reporting. And so leaving out things that could potentially be important in this personal net worth calculation might be grounds for denying the certification, and we would hate to see that happen. So please definitely fill out the form completely. And then with that being said, the cap will now automatically adjust every 3 years, which is consistent with the Survey of Consumer Finances reporting. So that calculation will take place and it will now be automatically adjusted. My understanding is every May 9th moving forward. So there will be no rulemaking process required for the cap adjustment, and the formula is provided to everyone for transparency. And I think that about covers the significant changes for the personal net worth. So here is Andy to tell you about the changes in payment monitoring.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Andy Atkins, and I am the DBE coordinator for the CREO department. Some of the pertinent changes for the payment monitoring are mechanisms, enforcements are required for program docs. So basically what we're doing is we're making sure that we are monitoring the way the systems in which we monitor the projects. Mechanisms for proactive monitoring for prompt payment compliance are required 30 days or shorter. So that means that once a prime contractor is paid for the city of Kansas City DBE program, they have 15 days to pay their subcontractor. So that now will be actively monitored as opposed to waiting for the sub to call me and say, hey, haven't gotten paid yet. Now, the federal government is saying that we have to actively monitor to make sure that the subs are being paid. Compliance required for all subcontractors, meaning that even if you're not a DBE, you will I will still be monitoring to make sure that you're getting paid on time. Tracking tracking the run and tally. Mechanisms to track contract goal attainment in progress. Run and tally not only applies to monitoring contract goal attainment, but also to monitoring the recipient's progress toward obtaining the overall goal. Being that every DBE project has a goal, the federal government has now said that while the project is is going on, I will need to make sure that the prime contractor is on schedule to make that goal. So CUF and committed reviews. So commercial useful function review is necessary for every credit on a DB project. I'm sorry, and so what that means is I'll now have to make, the federal government said that we now have to make sure that a company whose NAICS codes are for let's say, for example, concrete, will be performing concrete. They will not be given credit for any other scope of work that they're doing, unless they are, of course, certified to do that. Another thing is a run and tally not only applies to monitoring contract goals attaining, but also monitoring the recipient's progress towards obtaining its overall goal each year. So of course, that's just allowing making sure that each DBE, whether it's FAA, FTA, making sure that we are on track to attain the goals that we forecasted. And the last thing is, of course, counting suppliers and distributors. Pre-award review required to determine validity of status, and supplier distributor utilization type established, and drop shipping acceptable under certain conditions. So this is one of the bigger changes that I thought the federal government did as it pertains to distributors and suppliers. There used to be a 60% credit for suppliers on a DBE contract. It's been changed to 40%. And they also added drop shipping as a accredited process on the DBE contract. So now, if you're a drop shipper, you will receive 40% credit of the for your process for drop shipping. I believe that's it.
Thank you, Andy. Mark?
Okay, what is the impact on the city's MWBE program? Well, our program is based almost entirely on the federal program. So a lot of these changes will be automatic. There will be some that may require some additions to our ordinance. One that's automatic is the PNW automatically increased from 1.32 million to 2.047 million. And we will also exclude the retirement assets from those calculations. Payment monitoring rules will be adopted, and increased and proactive enforcement of prompt payment, increased commercially useful function and work committed enforcement, and supplier distributors established at 40% towards goals in most cases. Some of those changes, as I said, will require ordinance changes, but most of the changes will be automatic. So no changes to the ordinance will be required for those. And next is Alvaro.
Okay. So is there any change to currently certified program participants? The basic answer is no. And the long answer is also no. If you're currently certified, nothing changes for you. You will have most likely provided a personal net worth statement when you were certified or with your last renewal. So that process will stay the same. And unless your personal net worth increases beyond the new $2.047 million threshold, your business will remain eligible for the Diversity Supplier Business Enterprise Program, for which you are currently certified. As many as may apply. And then also keep in mind that the cap will be adjusted in 3 years' time. So if your personal net worth does increase beyond the current limit, be on the lookout for the upcoming limit. When that gets calculated, you may become eligible again and encouraged to reapply.
Thank you, Alvaro. Andy?
If I was previously rejected due to exceeding the personal net worth, what do I do? If you were previously denied certification because of because you made over the 1.3 million, you can now reapply. And if that was the only difference in your the reason why you were rejected, and you make less than the 2.047 million, reapply and to be reconsidered for certification.
Thank you so much, Andy. And now, we'll be taking question, and this is the list of persons who work in the EEI division for certification contacts, and also we have Andy for the DBE and Title 4 coordinator. 36, sorry. Melody, I see that your hand is raised. You could type your question in the chat.
So I see Melody's question, and it says, I was a WBE who not renewed thanks to the P&W. Do I just reapply?
Yes.
So yes, the answer, Melanie, is yes. Please reapply to be reconsidered. Because of the increase in the new P&W, you will be reconsidered as long as you're under the 2.047 million.
Okay, on that page there, last page, you'll see that there is a new mailbox for the EEI division, CREO EEI at kcmo.org. Please feel free to send any additional questions there. Those will go to our intake, and they will be sure to send those to the appropriate people on our team if they are not able to answer them. We also have the names there of folks from our team, EEI division, and they are also happy to help you as well. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Rika, do you?
Yeah, we have one more question from Kathy.
Oh, yes.
I'll just go ahead and read it. If KCMO is not our home state, but we have our base application there, do we need to change that?
Mark, do you want to take that one?
Well, I mean, if we're not your home state, then you'd have to use your home state certification to apply for any other state certification. Because we accept them from any state, but we're not your home state. You're going to have to depend on your home state certification.
I hope that answers your question, Kathy. Does anyone have any more questions? Okay, I guess that is the last question. Thank you all for joining us today. As Ria said, if you have any more questions, you can always reach out to the number, email address on the screen, and please be sure to visit our website at kcmo.gov/CREO. Thank you.